Sydney Radka, and welcome to another edition of FLX Weekly here at FingerLakes1.com. It is November 10th, 2021, and we are live inside the FingerLakes1.com studio, where I'm joined by Jim Sinicropi. Welcome back. We have Kristen Moore, who has also been here with us before, the educator for Seneca Meadows Education Center, and a newcomer, Alyssa Johnson from the Montezuma Audubon Center. We're going to have a lot of fun things to talk about with those two. But
and
first,
drinking wine and not a wine Wednesday.
Right, I know. I love this for us. This is exciting. But today's show is brought to us by conveniently Cayuga Lake Wine Trails. There is still time to grab your tickets for next weekend's holiday shopping spree, which is crazy to think about already, holidays. Their event days are November 20th and 21st, but they also have December 4th and 5th. It's going to be going on from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Tickets are only sold in bundles of 4, so they can maximize available space and keep all parties safe, regardless of your vaccination status. It's $275 plus tax and a service fee. This is a one-day event, but it has 2 weekends that you can choose from, multiple dates in there to choose from. Tickets will only be honored on their specified date with no exceptions or exchanges. This, when you get the tickets, it includes 6 wineries with food and wine samples served at each. And you also get a souvenir wine glass for each person, a custom Cayuga Lake Wine Trail serving board.
Bamboo serving board. She brought that in last Wednesday, or a couple Wednesdays ago.
Finger Lakes Laser, who's actually, I think, coming on next week to talk about all his stuff. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Well, that holiday event is one of the big ones. We want to get it in before it fills up.
Yep, tickets are still on sale until next Wednesday. But now, officially, we want to welcome you guys back to the studio and in the studio for the first time.
And hello.
Hi, thanks for having us.
No problem. So we're going to talk about, a lot of things. You're starting to do a few new things. You're kind of moved into a new position since we last had you in here, right?
I think so.
Yeah, it's been a few months. I'd say almost 4 or 5 months since you've been here last.
Right, we were talking about kayaking and me getting a good workout the last time I was here, I think.
Is kayaking officially done and put away for the season?
Yeah, in the beginning of September. It was sad to close the program. It was really fun.
But you had great success with that. It seemed like every weekend was packed.
Right, and that was with the On the Canals program, which we are now working with as well. I'm doing fall guided hikes each Saturday.
Awesome.
Through that at the Montezuma Audubon Center.
That's awesome. So, okay, we're going to get into it. We got to meet Alyssa. We got to know about her and what she's going to be doing with you moving forward. So, welcome officially and tell us all about yourself.
Thanks. I've been with the Montezuma Audubon Center for about a little over 4 years now. I also work at a winery, so I feel quite qualified to be here today. I work at Billsboro Winery on Seneca Lake.
Oh, great wine at Billsboro.
Yes.
I agree. But I also do some really cool events with other wineries and a brewery in the area, bringing together birds and booze.
Amazing. Yeah.
And recently, earlier this fall, we were given a shout out on the Wine Enthusiast, which is an online magazine. They did a huge article called Wine and Birding Destinations That Shouldn't Fly Under Your Radar. So Buttonwood Grove Winery, which is a winery that we do frequent events with.
Also one of my favorites.
Love them for a lot of reasons. Wine, of course, great people, great facilities.
Great party scene.
It's gorgeous. Yeah. It's gorgeous. But they were approached and interviewed for this article, so there's a whole bunch of different states listed with similar events, but we at the Montezuma Audubon Center kind of, we're thinking, brainstorming. A lot of people come to the Finger Lakes for the outdoors and outdoor recreation and birding and wildlife, and then the wine industry.
Of course.
So we're capitalizing on that and marrying them together, and these events are super fun. There's an outdoor component that depends on the season, of course, but a paddle. We have gear, canoes and kayaks that people can rent or you can bring your own. In the wintertime, we try to do a snowshoe hike, but of course, Mother Nature is, not always cooperative, and then it just turns into a hike. But then everybody comes into the winery. They do, depending on where we are, kind of, differs what they offer. But recently, we've been doing kind of like charcuterie boards because it's easy to plate individually for, safety. And then walking people through a tasting and pairings. And then the third kind of component to this event is I bring in Dana Ford, who's the president of Braddock Bay Raptor Research up on Lake Ontario, west of Rochester. She has 4 birds of prey, live birds of prey, that
Big
she
ones.
then walks through the crowd with and introduces everybody. You can't handle them, but you're getting to be nice and close to them. So it's a really fun event. We do have an event coming up with Buttonwood Grove. It's on the calendar in February. I'm not going to share too many details just yet because we're not ready to accept registrations, but you can find out that information on our website. Probably by mid-December, we'll have that information up there.
Amazing. Sounds like a really fun job. Like you said,
it's hard to complain when you get to taste wine and look for birds and go kayaking for your work.
Of course, yeah. Wow. So is that, I would assume, how you two became friends, linked up through business and personal life? Like, I know you love kayaking. I know you love everything nature, birds, all of that. And so it's like kind of a no-brainer for you guys to team up.
You guys became fast friends?
Well,
we've worked together for a couple of years now, but we've not worked physically in the same place together because Kristen's been stationed at the Seneca Meadows Education Center, and I'm at Montezuma Audubon. But she's now been brought on full time, so she's splitting her time kind of between the two. She's everywhere.
Always.
But we are working together at least part of the week, physically together. So.
Yeah. But our interests really are very similar, and they have driven us both to be working for Audubon, which, we're really proud to work for the organization and, share information about it at all times.
Yeah.
I think the wine industry and how it affects and impacts our area is a big deal. Right?
Of course, yeah. And do you have an extensive background in wine like Alyssa does? Or is Alyssa the wine person, you stick with the nature and you put them all together?
Alyssa actually is a much stronger birder.
Oh, okay.
And many other things as well, right? She has more of a science background, whereas, I'm an adventure educator with media arts background. But I have worked in hospitality in New York and fine wine shops, and one wonderful place I worked at was Cultivare in Ithaca. That was a farm to table restaurant that really highlighted the Finger Lakes wines, and the 2 that I have selected for today I used to sell there all the time, with great pride.
I'm excited. Are we going to jump into, I need you to tell me what this word means, because you told it to me before the show and I don't know what it means. We have to discuss something. It's pronounced, I think, terroir.
Awesome, Sydney. Awesome. Remember that forever. Yes, you win.
Oh,
awesome.
We know I can't really get words right a lot, so we did it. Terroir. Well, tell me about it.
Yes, right? It takes practice to say these things, right? And you need, good examples
it's French,
to get
right?
it right. It is French, yep.
Oh, okay. He's just going to boast because he knows more than me.
He's been around a little bit, right? Tasting some wine.
Well, if you had to guess, terroir.
Yeah,
French.
I wouldn't have guessed it, but yeah, I get it.
It's not Japanese or Spanish.
You never know. Tell me, what is it? Tell me, it's French term for what?
It really means a sense of place that can come through a product, really, whether it be coffee or wine. But here in the Finger Lakes, we have a cool climate region for wine growing. And our first selection is a dry Riesling from Herman Weimer from Seneca
one of the
Lake.
best you can have in the world, right?
In
For
the
sure.
world?
Weimer's Riesling.
It's pretty.
Yeah, it is. I was looking at it. Let's try and use our background from learning. If it has more legginess or less leg, which one? Is it sweeter, drier?
That doesn't necessarily pertain to the sweetness or dryness, I don't think.
Go, Jim.
But this is leggy.
Right? Is it leggy? Would you say it's leggy?
So I'm not a sommelier.
Okay.
I'm a wine drinker who knows what I like.
All right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And working in the wine industry is a perfect way to become a wine snob. So I'm not the most pretentious, but I do like to learn some things about how the wine is made, and especially because it's an industry that is very literally close to home here. So forgive me if I am butchering wine people out there.
Yeah, no judgment.
But I kind of look at the viscosity, so seeing how it sticks to the glass, I guess maybe that could be like legginess.
Yes.
And the more, sugar that's in a wine, you can kind of see how quickly it kind of comes down the glass. But again, people ask all the time, and you've probably been asked this too before working in wine, what's the best wine?
Oh.
And that's subjective, right? Like, I'm not a dry red, I don't favor dry reds. Other people only like dry reds.
Yes.
Some people like wine so sweet that you can feel you gotta go brush your teeth.
Yeah, you know what? The thing about it is like I have my favorite wines. Like I tend to gravitate towards a Pinot Noir is one of my favorites. Is to pair with the food. Or to have with dinner, to have on hand, just have a glass of at night. But I like all kinds of wines, and I do sometimes I like the straight up like Niagara, Concord, grape type of.
Sometimes,
diamond.
Yeah, it's really, so here, we're talking about like descriptors, really foxy, a really grapey grape.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
yes.
okay,
Yeah.
wait, let's go back to legs. Right, I think that was a great way that you described what you saw specifically.
Yeah.
But
Try it.
I've been told before that legs are meaningless, right? And you shouldn't really make a barrier, perhaps, for your understanding.
Yeah.
We found, and there's been studies done in Cornell, that it's best to say how things were grown, when they may have been picked, how long the harvest was, how long the contact with the skins was after the grapes were crushed.
What they were stored in, whether it was a oak barrel or a stainless steel, whatever it might be.
Ceramic.
Yeah, no, that's what the beauty of it all.
Sydney.
It's really interesting. It truly is an art, because between maybe conception's not the right word, but the growing of the grapes to in your glass, there's so many variables that can affect the end product. And
where did the vines come from? Some of them came from Europe. Some were grafted, here in the Finger Lakes.
Cayuga was created by Cornell.
Right.
It is very interesting. And the question we keep kind of getting at Billsboro is questions about the weather and the rain this year. Was that going to affect this year's vintage? And it shouldn't. It creates more work for the winemaker, because there's a lot of picking of grapes out that are maybe, they've spoiled or whatever because of all the rain, but ultimately it has no effect on the end product. It's more hands-on for the winemaker.
This is delicious.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it.
Yeah, yes, please.
Yeah, it's the epitome of what a Riesling is. I mean, the Weimer Riesling.
You have some background on it. I'm sure you could tell us.
I have so much to say about it, but what Jim said is the truth. For everybody listening and watching, right? This is iconic Finger Lakes wine.
So good.
How it presents itself in the glass, and as far as the legacy of the vineyard, Herman Weimer himself coming here from Germany, really figuring out how to create wine on his own when there wasn't a lot of infrastructure. I watched a great video from Fred, the winemaker from Herman Weimer this morning, who was going on about that and reading about his background, where Fred graduated from Cornell and called Herman and asked for his contacts in the Moselle region, and Herman said, "No, just come work for me."
Okay. Wow.
So
and if you go to the actual winery, they do have pieces of this history, displayed. It's a small little build. It's very quaint and nice. It's nice. It's actually, I shouldn't say it's too small, because once you get past the initial couple of tasting rooms, it does open up with the giant tanks and there's an outdoor space. It's a great place.
I really don't know if I've gone to this one, and that makes me kind of sad.
Maybe we'll have to make a date.
Yes. Oh, I will go and drink
list.
wine
Field
anywhere.
research.
We
Yes,
had
right?
a wonderful tasting with the resident sommelier, Tara, when we went there to source these wines. And actually, I went there really wanting to get this biodynamic Chardonnay that recently just won the highest ratings of a Finger Lake Chardonnay ever.
Wow.
But as I was really focusing on sustainable wines for our holiday meals, right, that all of our guests will really enjoy, I chose these wines.
Okay. So there's options, obviously, that we can go there and try.
Oh, many.
So many.
Right, I really enjoy their red for many reasons that I could discuss as well. But what's really awesome is that Fred, the winemaker from Herman Weimer, was nominated Best Winemaker in America by Wine Enthusiast, and those results will come in tomorrow. Oh. So you can get more of that
crossed.
information on my program on Friday. And Herman Weimer Winery itself was, I think, awarded Best Winery in America last year.
That is insane. Can you imagine getting that as like a title for the rest of your life? Like,
it's got Napa Valley shaking in its boots.
Yeah, it does.
For decades, Northern California was known as the wine region, and for some reason, I don't really know why. Maybe you know, the Finger Lakes Reds are always kind of like poo-pooed.
Not anymore.
No,
they
really shouldn't be. I don't know why. Don't sleep on them.
Well, even as someone who's not a sommelier or even a expert on wine, although if we keep drinking wine on Wednesday mornings,
we will be experts.
But I do enjoy seeking out different wines and tasting the differences, and I've noticed that the reds of the past 3 years have been better than the reds from 5 or 6 years ago. So I think we're getting better at it. Here in the Finger Lakes, and Buttonwood makes an incredible Pinot. I think it's 2017 Pinot that is as good as any Pinot in the world, but from Buttonwood. And Ravines makes an excellent Pinot. 2017 218. I went to Ravines specifically to see if I could get any more of the 2017s, and I was able to pick up a couple, but it's gone now. I'm sure. I was lucky. So, anyways, the Reds. We have stepped up our game with reds, and there's no reason that the Finger Lakes can't produce great reds. We have the incredible climate to grow any type of grape.
I think you touched on something really important there, how the last few years you've seen a change in the wines, and that, going back to terroir, could be evidence of the winemaking as well as the change in climate.
Yep.
Right.
Bringing it all together.
We're getting a little warmer, longer falls, a little warmer. Global
drier,
like I always say, global warming does.
Hot and dry is good for grapes. People don't think about it being dry being good, but grapes have deep roots. Too much water, if you grow tomatoes and it's too rainy, your tomatoes will pop. Basically, they split because they're so engorged. And then just like on you, if you have a cut on your skin, it's a way for pathogens and things to get into the fruit of the grape or the tomato or whatever. So more rain doesn't necessarily equal good for growing conditions. And so I think it was last year, our winemaker at Billsboro, who's also the winemaker for Atwater, Vinny, he was, as a winemaker, he retains these details of the weather of years past because it becomes his life. Right. And so he was detailing the summer 2020 or the growing season 2020 for me, and it was really 2020 vintage was great. This year, I shouldn't say like this year. It's not going to be much easier for the winemaker because the fruit was able to mature and do what it needed to on the vine without being compromised.
And dry conditions, as long as it's not too dry, it tends to make the plant hardier because when the roots have to search for water deeper, where if the soil's always wet, they tend not to. With most, including turf grass or it just isn't hardy. But we're losing time here. What about this one?
You did mention you have something on Friday. I want you to touch base on that before we go into our second wine.
Okay.
You have an event on Friday, you said?
Yes, that will be at 6:00, I believe, and I should be releasing that via the Seneca Meadows Education Center Facebook page. If you do have future slots, maybe we can discuss all of these things in more depth because there's so much to talk about it there.
You're always welcome to come in here, Kristen. You know that.
Oh, thank you. Right, the biodynamic wines from Weimer are I think it's really exciting that they're doing that. Some people have said that biodynamic wines are not economically viable. Well, to have a leader like Weimer doing it right and being really concerned about the growing conditions, which all of the wines at Weimer are grown sustainably. They have many different factors in place, and the fact that Fred learned from Herman and from Oscar, so they really know that area, and they even have maps like they have at Billsboro too, showing the vineyard composition and what the soils are, and the angle of the light and all of that. So that's awesome. Real expertise, and that brings us to our second selection very well.
Perfect.
This is actually, let me show you this beautiful bottle. This is.
Love it.
There's a lot of shine on there.
Yeah.
Hearts and Hands?
Yes, it's from Heart and Hands. It's the Mokushla. It's the 2018. So this
definitely smells dry.
It is 100% Pinot Noir. Go, Sydney, go.
Sorry, go ahead. Please
No,
tell
you got
us.
it, right?
I was just telling her, I was, trying to smell it, trying to act like I know what I'm talking about nowadays, and you get that all the time with people that are coming through when you're doing the tastings.
Yeah, and, at Billsboro, we have dry wine.
Yeah.
And one of my very good friends was like, I keep trying to get her to come to a tasting while I'm working. She's like, I don't like drier stuff. And I said, it's not necessarily about liking everything. It's trying things and tasting things.
Yeah.
And, not to be a mom, but how do you know if you don't try it,
Yeah.
And so just trying different things, smelling it, it is not just an experience for your taste buds.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we process taste and smell through our whole kind of olfactory system. So again, I feel like I'm sounding pretentious, but smelling it, tasting it, breathing out while it's in your mouth, there's different
looking
things.
at it.
Looking at it, yeah. And then
pairing it with different things. So you might think, I don't like dry wine, but have you tried it with a nice aged Gouda or a steak?
Chocolate, dark chocolate.
So you'd be surprised at what you'd like if you can pair it correctly.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned that.
Mokushla, actually, right, it's very important to know this. It means my darling or my pulse in Gaelic, I believe.
It's cute.
Which people were laughing on my tour the other day because in a movie from the 40s, there was a farmer who had a cow named Mokushla. And I said, well, look how much that farmer loved his cow.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Which I think is great that we're working more in agriculture and with wineries and craft breweries around here because it's the environment that makes our culture.
Yep.
Right?
And
Right, Sue and Tom Higgins chose the spot where Heart and Hands is because of the limestone there, which neutralizes the acid and makes this really soft presentation. So that is 100% Pinot Noir with 20% stem inclusion. We could talk about that another time. But both of these wineries are actually featured in Summer in a Glass by Evan Dawson, which I think is a really neat book. Good holiday gift. But a great way to learn about the wine industry and the pioneers and how special it can be to be part of a harvest.
She always comes with so much amazing information that I, as a simpleton, don't think of on a daily basis. And this is your job, but it's also fun and educational. And
it's nice when you have a job that suits your life and your personality and what you personally care about. That's when you can really have a great career, when you marry your interests with your profession.
A mentor of mine probably 15 years ago told me, make your vocation your vacation.
Oh, love that.
And I try to live by that.
You can see you two really are in a spot that you should be because you both seem very passionate and you enjoy it, and you can tell just by you guys talking about it.
That's excellent wine.
Ooh,
and
I really like this.
Me too.
Actually.
It's
and you were just saying
unique.
You're not even that much of a fan.
I'm not a dry red drinker, but this is.
Let's try it. Here we go.
Like I said, I've sold Heart and Hands wines for years, and worked a little bit with Susan Higgins professionally, but looking at their website again after I visited their winery, or maybe it sent me there again, right? They say from our heart and hands to yours, and that's really what it is. It's how much love has been put in there, and how it's also preserved the integrity of the land as well.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. This is really good. And I wasn't in the beginning. I'd say 2 years ago now, I was so against dry red anything. I was like, no. I wasn't sweet red cat, but I was not super, super dry. And now my palate has just matured.
You're growing up, Sid.
Oh, I remember being at wineries when I'm 21 years old. I don't care what it is, pour it in my glass. The sweeter the better. And now, thinking about a Catawba or a Niagara, wonderful grape. Great wine for some people. Not me.
Well, I would never drink 2 glasses of that type of wine, but I would gladly drink one.
Well, if it's super
in the
hot,
summer,
yeah, on a boat.
Yep.
Anytime. It's when you sit down to dinner, you eat savory foods and then you eat a sweet dessert. Why can wine be any different?
Yeah.
Very nice.
Well, that's a whole
Very
other
well said,
realm
Jim.
that is a whole other thing, is getting into the dessert wines and the iced wines.
Billsboro makes an incredible apricot dessert wine.
Oh,
Yeah, late harvest. So it's not a true ice wine, but it is a late harvest.
Yeah,
so it's quite sweet, and it is absolutely a dessert wine. We pour it, all of the tastings are like a half-ounce pour, but that's all you really want is like a little sip.
Yeah, a little after dinner. And I've had 3-4 bottles of that since I first tasted it at Billsboro, maybe last summer. But yeah, so the variety is important.
Yeah, I agree.
Don't think you're just
there's a wine for everyone's palate.
Yeah.
You have brought on 2 wines that were absolutely delicious,
really
and
good.
they're also in the realm of, helping, I feel like, our environment in some way or another. And I really do want to try one of these biodiverse wines.
Another show, or maybe we'll take a field trip.
Yes, let's do a field trip. But so moving forward.
On location.
Yeah, we're running out of time.
Moving forward, since we're running out of time, people should expect you guys to be popping up with some events that will do exactly, like we did today. Talk about environmental, see some birds, and drink some wine. I just think it's awesome. It's just another thing for people to do in the community that they might not think to do every day. Enjoy the Finger Lakes to the fullest, I would say.
No, I don't know how you can't.
Support your local industries.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, like I said, we're running out of time already, but your Friday event is not, look at her. She's switching it up. Always brings on a whole wardrobe, I swear. But your event is a digital event on Friday?
Yes.
Okay, how can people get onto that? Is it all on Seneca Meadows
Education
Facebook?
Center Facebook page, I do believe. Yep.
Okay, and that event is going to entail what?
What time does it start?
6 o'clock.
Okay.
I'm keeping it rather casual. Actually, I was kind of focusing on this event.
Yeah.
I will probably reshare this if that's all right, but also include more information from Weimer. Like I said, I found some amazing videos there, and then maybe I'll remember all the things we didn't get to talk about during this interview, too.
Of course, yes. And just a little teaser that you gave us, I think I'm really excited to see what events you have coming up. Like she said, there's going to be...
Big one in February.
Yeah, a big one in February.
Yeah, and I wish I could share more. There's just a lot of moving pieces, and with COVID, everything just takes a little bit longer and has more intention behind planning.
Now
But
and February.
I would be glad to come back and talk about it more.
Of course.
Maybe we'll bring a live bird with us, too.
Yeah. Yes, please. We
Look at
did
that,
have
another
a
hat
live
change.
bird. Yeah, you had a live. You came with. Wasn't it you who brought a live bird one
did.
time? And I loved that. So please, yes.
Hey,
do
we're
that
running
again.
out of time.
I'm
People
sorry.
want to know what the weather's going to be
People
like.
want to know what the weather is. Really, everything you guys talked about today was awesome. I'm going to let Jim talk about the weather real quick before we sign off.
Thank you both.
People want to know.
So we've had great weather. It's almost, I don't know if it's Indian summer, but it's been pleasant. Today's pleasant. Tomorrow's going to be pleasant.
Love that sun.
It's going to change a little bit by the weekend. Friday, morning showers give way to mostly cloudy skies. High near 57. Southwest wind 9 to 11 mile per hour. So a nice
I'll take
afternoon
that.
on Friday. Maybe one of the last ones to really get out there where you might have at least a light jacket or even a T-shirt on, because after that it changes a little bit. Saturday, beautiful day, partly sunny, high near 48. Just a slight chance of showers. And then overnight, Saturday night, going to get down to about 35. And then we move into Sunday, partly sunny, high near 46. Crisp, nice day, slight chance of showers throughout the weekend. Getting down to, almost freezing on Sunday night overnight, down to 34. Chance of rain increases heading into Monday of next week, where we're going to have a high on Monday of just 43. So it is changing a little bit, but I'm hoping there's one more, maybe somewhere between now and the end of November, we get up into the 50s again for a weekend. But whatever. I also bought a new recliner that was delivered yesterday, so if it gets cold, I'll just park on that for like 3-4 months and be ready to go in the spring when the weather changes.
I think that sounds amazing. So people know how they can see all the events that you have going on at the Education Facebook, but how can people see more than what's going on with Audubon?
Yeah, so our website is montezuma.audubon.org, and we have a running schedule of all of our events. We do driving tours, hiking tours, if the snow cooperates, snowshoeing, all sorts of really fun stuff. So montezuma.audubon.org.
And how do you get one of these publications? You just join the Audubon Society?
Yeah, you can become a member of the National Audubon Society, but we also do receive a limited number, but to our center that could be picked up if you come visit us in Savannah.
Ooh, awesome. In Savannah. I
Not
didn't even know
Georgia.
that.
Savannah, Wayne
Yeah, not
County.
Savannah, Georgia.
Yes.
Savannah, Wayne County.
Awesome. Well, it was literally awesome for you guys to come on. I'm sure you'll both come on again in the future.
Happy
Can't
to.
wait to see what you guys figure out of events. That
Yes,
are gonna
thank
be
you.
coming
Kristen,
up.
thanks for bringing us some wine.
Yes, thank
My
you.
pleasure.
It was great. And of course, that's all the time we have already. So thank you, everybody that joined us
Who's
today.
on next week?
I think it's Finger Lakes Laser. He's going to be coming on and showing some good holiday gift ideas.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody that joined us. If you enjoyed the show, you can click like, you can share with your friends, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll be back again next Wednesday, of course. And until then, I'm going to still call it have a great fall weekend here in the